What's up YouTube, Jeff back again, and today another exciting video for you guys. Today I'm going to be talking about the Galaxy S23 Ultra and Pixel 7 Pro. And you're probably saying, well Jeff, neither of those phones are out yet, and that's 100% true, but both of the phones are going to be very similar to their predecessors, the Galaxy S22 Ultra and the Pixel 6 Pro, which I do have and I've been using over the last year. Now, if you want to buy a Pixel 7 Pro, Google's store is pretty much always terrible on launch day. I would highly recommend ordering from Best Buy, which I'll actually have a link to on launch day. That's where I'm going to order mine. You're going to have to order immediately because they almost always sell out and then they're not available for like 2 months. So you're going to have to make a decision ahead of time based on what we know, and then of course while watching the event, but normally they go live during the event. So I'm going to give you guys some things to think about these two phones. By the way, if anyone's interested in this case, carved case, check it out. I'll have the link in the description for the S22 Ultra. But also, if you guys are pre-ordering an S23 Ultra or Pixel 6 Pro, Pixel 7 Pro rather, head on over to my website and you can grab a free mystery box. I'm giving them out for the S23 Ultra launch. Those will ship in February. Pixel 7 Pro, it's gonna have cases, phone stands for my friends at Lamicall, lots of cool stuff. Definitely check that out. The link will be below. 100% free. I cover shipping and everything. So I'm going to give you guys some things to think about with these two devices. Let me actually take the case off so we can take a look at the hardware a little bit. Basically, in using these over the last couple years, the last year, the hardware is much better on Samsung in my opinion. But Google has a better overall services experience that's integrated with their software right now. That may not be the case forever because Samsung's made some strides with One UI 5 and there is some cool stuff coming. But for now, I think that's kind of what it boils down to at the end of the day. Also, there are some things that are much, much better on the Samsung device. The fingerprint sensor, in my opinion, is much better because it uses a different tech, even though they have improved it a little bit on Google over time. Let's see if I can do them at the same time. It's kind of hard to do them at the same time behind the camera. But I find the one on the Galaxy S22 Ultra to be much more reliable than the one on the Pixel 6 Pro. We know, they could improve that. We'll have to see when the 7 Pro comes out. But if they use the same tech, which it seems like because there hasn't been any leaks otherwise, then it's probably going to be pretty similar experience to what we have now, unless they fix it in software. Both of the phones are going to look pretty much like they do now. I mean, there isn't going to be a huge change between the Pixel 7 Pro and the S23 Ultra from the S22 Ultra and the Pixel 6 Pro. There's a slight change to the camera bar on the back. For the Pixel 7 Pro, we've seen in the leaks that, the official renders that Google's shown. And then we just saw some leaks of the S23 Ultra today. Basically, the camera array is the same. The one thing that's changing, and I absolutely have to wipe this down because that is one thing I'll talk about in a second too. I'll mention about the S23 Ultra. They're going to change how curved it is on the sides. So basically, instead of being drastically curved, it's going to be a little less curved on the sides. But I mean, the S23 Ultra renders that we've seen so far, which are from reliable sources, they look very, very similar to the S22 Ultra. There's going to be new hardware, obviously. I think, again, what are the services that I love on the Google phone that would make me choose it? I love call screen, which is a great feature. Samsung is supposed to be getting that on the S22 Ultra. It isn't live yet in the US in the One UI 5 beta for Android 13, but it's supposed to be coming. We hope it comes. But the Pixel phone is the only one that's had call screen in the US since launch. So that's a big reason because I get a lot of spam calls. Everyone does in the US, I think. And it's great having that feature, just answer it and screen the calls for you. At the end of the day, I love having Google Photos so tightly integrated. There's some other cool stuff, in Android 13 that Samsung hasn't added yet. One thing I love, it's just a small thing, is this little wavy line playing when you have this, song playing in your phone. I'm a big fan of that. I think Samsung could add that. That's a small software thing that Google did that Samsung hasn't implemented yet. The other things that I love about Google is things like now playing on the lock screen with the music recognition. That's a cool feature. You can get that with an app on your Samsung device, but I find it's not as accurate or robust as what you get on the Google phone. In terms of hardware, Samsung just dominates everywhere. You guys can kind of see here with these two wallpapers, the Samsung just has much deeper blacks. Sometimes it doesn't translate great in video, but I think in this one, you can kind of see the overall kind of, just beautiful way this display displays the different colors of purple. The shades are a little more differentiated In person, it's quite a bit better in my opinion. Samsung always saves their best panels for their own devices. The 120 hertz is just buttery smooth. Battery life, the S22 Ultra, in my experience, is way better, especially if you're going to be using, 5G or LTE a lot. It's just a much better experience on the S22 Ultra. If you're going to be on Wi-Fi most of the time, the Pixel is fine, but we have to see if they improve the modems with the Pixel 7 Pro. I don't have a ton of confidence in Google on that side because they don't make their own chips, so it's kind of hard optimizing the cell modems and everything integrated with their custom tensor chip. I do think the performance will be improved, but I'm unsure if the cell reception will be as good as it is on Samsung devices, so that is something to think about. The Pixel does get warm, especially like I said, when you're on cellular connection for a long period of time, or when you're gaming, it gets warm a little more often than Samsung. That is again because of the first gen tensor chip. So one big thing to watch in the event is, how much did they improve that? And you kind of just have to make a decision, like I said, if you want to pre-order the phone, because they're going to go live quickly. You're not going to be able to wait for a lot of benchmark tests and, gaming tests and stuff like that, which I'll do once I get the phones. But, you're not going to be able to wait for that if you want to pre-order the Pixel 7 Pro. In terms of camera, both of them are really good. They take different style photos, right? Samsung's a little more saturated. The Pixel's a little more balanced. I think Samsung still does a little better in video, whereas Google struggles with video a little bit more. So I think if you want to do video stuff, the Samsung phone's a little bit better. At the end of the day, those are really the main considerations, I think, for me. I think Google has a chance to make some pretty solid improvements with the Pixel 7 Pro. Their software and the overall experience and integration, I still think, is a little better than Samsung's. But I don't know right now that I would trade, the hardware that I have on my Samsung device for those software things on the Pixel device, because the hardware is so good in terms of the display, the fingerprint sensor, the optimization with the processor, the cellular modems. And I just think, personally, the design, is up to preference. I like the Samsung design a little bit more, but the Google design is a little more distinctive. So if you want something unique, that's something to think about as well. So those are kind of my points to think about when you're deciding, do you want to grab a Pixel 7 Pro? Do you want to wait for the S23 Ultra? Both of these are going to be very similar phones to their predecessors. So we have to see what minor improvements are made. There's going to be some camera improvements made on both sides. But I think the main thing is to watch and see what Google can do with tuning that processor and the cellular performance. And hopefully they touch on some of those things in the event, talk about some of those things, because we know the camera improvements are going to be there on both sides. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification icon, future videos like this. If you guys have any questions or you're trying to decide, should I get a Pixel 7 Pro? Should I go wait for the S23 Ultra? Let me know and I'll try to help you guys decide in the comments. Also, if you are buying one of these phones, either one of them, S23 Ultra or the Pixel 7 Pro, check out the link below to grab a mystery box. Comes with free case, phone stand, cool stuff like that, directly shipped by me, 100% free to you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.